what's up guys? In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about variables in JavaScript. So, let's continue. There are like a couple different ways to name variables. You can write, there's var, there's let, there's also const. These are lines that name the variable. Like, let's name the variable var, which is short for variable, let, which is the same thing, except that's kind of like, imagine a bin, like a basket, labeled water bottle level. You start with it full, but as you drink it, the amount changes. You can pop the lid off, pour some out, and put it back. That's like an example. But the real life rule, the label will stay the same, but the stuff inside changes during the day. This is like, you use let for things that change. Like maybe a score in a game. Like in a basketball game, for example, when someone hits a 3-pointer or a 2-pointer, the score goes up by 2 or 3 points. That's basically the same thing in let. Var, it's like your messy junk drawer. Imagine a drawer where you just throw things in without thinking. Sometimes you can find things before you even remember putting them there. This is called hoisting. It's messy and it leads to like losing whatever it could be. In real life it works, but it's kind of disorganized and sometimes causes accidents. It's used for modern coders mostly ignore this and use let here or constant. So like variable var is pretty just kind of like jumbled. That's basically what I mean. And last but not least, const. It's like it's like a label, but that's super glued. Imagine a bin labeled birth year. You put 1995 in it and super glue the lid shut. This means in real life you can't change it. If you try to put a different year in there, the computer will not understand it and throw a fit. This is for coding use. You should use this for things that stay the same, like your name or like the value of a variable. That will not change. So let's demonstrate var. Let's check out var first. It's a beginner's but still kind of messy though. Let's name it our birth year for example, birth year, and let's equal it. What would be your birth year? Let's have an example. Maybe 1998 as an example. But we can also come over here and rename it. But the reason why var is so messy is because you can just easily rename it. So birth year, we can now rename it to 1898. You see, now it's different from each other. This was birth year, it was 1998, and now the birth year is 1898. Usually this is impossible, but this is like an example of why var is pretty messy. Now the next thing we should check out. Let's check out let. As an example, like how we were explaining an example, right? We can name it water bottle level. You start with it full, but as you drink, the amount changes. Like the real life rule is that the label stays the same, but the stuff inside it changes too. Like how we said that you could just use this as an example for basketball game scores, any score, points, like that. So let's make it a game points, and let's make it 0. But then let's say that somebody scored a point. Now game point equals, you could say game point plus 1. It's just saying since game points equals 0, and here now the game point is game points plus 1. Or you could just put it simply and just write 1. Now that's it. That's it for let. Let's try constant. This is different from the other ones because this, unlike the other ones, can't be changed. This will stay the same. Like, you can't change the contents. Like, it's like under lock and key. Let's check it out. Let's name it. Let's do the same thing. Game points. Now, let's say that the game has ended. The points were 2. But then suddenly someone decided to score a point even though the game ends. And then the thing changes to 3. But constant won't let that happen. If we check out our console log, it will check errors. Look, type error. Attempted to assign to read-only property. This just means we tried to reassign it to a new value even though we can't. Like we said, constant is when a variable, which is game points over here, is locked to 2. So remain the 2. Even if you try to change it later on to 3, for example, it will not change. It will be read as an error. Now, that's basically it about variables, but there's also some types of other variables. You know what scope is, alright? Scope determines where in your code a variable is visible or accessible. Let's do block scope. Here, it includes the things let and const, like we just explained. This variable only exists inside the specific curly brackets. If you don't know what curly brackets are, these are curly brackets. Let me just show you. These are curly brackets. You see them? These are curly brackets. You use them for like if statements and such. Or a loop. Now let's check out function scope. Function scope is different from block scope, but for a reason. Function scope is the variable means that the variable is accessible anywhere. So this includes var. How we explained this one is messy and can be changed at any time. The variable is accessible anywhere within the function it was created in, regardless of blocks. That's function scope. Now, last but not least, we have global scope. Global scope, it means that variables declared outside any function or block are accessible from anywhere in your entire script. As a pointer, JavaScript is dynamically typed. Unlike some other coding languages, you don't have to specify what type of data, number, text, etc. A variable will hold it. A single variable can change from a number to a string easily. Like here, let's have an example over here, right? Let's use the let one because this one allows it to change but keep the same name. Let's make it 10. As an example. Now let's rename it to data equals hello. No. Now this is known as a string. This type is known as a simple number. This is just known as a simple number. But what can you store? You might be wondering, what can you store? Variables can hold several types of information. There are primitive types, simple values such as string, which is text. Let's just establish this real quick. If a string is just like text, the string equals text. Like here. This is text. This is known as a string. This is known as a string. Moving on. A number, a Boolean value, B-O-O, Boolean. Boolean. This is just like testing things to see if they're true or false. Like if I made a variable saying my age, and then we leave that to, let's say, 40. I'm not actually 40, but as an example. This is a Boolean value. So then later with other code, we could test if I'm 40, which I'm not. And then the Boolean value will see if it's true or false. If it's false, it will be labeled as false. If it's true, it will be true. Pretty simple. Now, and then we have, last but not least, null. This just means, it means that it's intentionally empty and or it's just undefined. Like if we make var name, and then this we just have nothing after it, right? That's an undefined variable. And see, that's basically for null. Now, this is all for variables. Variables, as you see, there's a bunch of different types of it, but as you get to know them, it becomes easier and familiar. So, let's review our information. What is let? Var, which stands for variable. That one was a messy and uncoordinated variable. And then we have let, organized, and lets you change the property. Lets you change the variable value. And then we have const, which means that the variable's value will stay the same no matter what. Like you can't just rename it and all that. So that's variables. And if this was helpful, please like and subscribe, and I'll think of maybe having an example using variables in a game or where it would be useful. So that's it for variables. If you like this, as I said, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next